Well, we've been kicked outside here at Shelbourne Park because we're here after the last race. It's busy inside. You actually may be able to hear the pop gods. They're playing after racing. 80s and 90s bangers. I don't know a few people now that might remember a few 80s and 90s bangers. There's one in particular. We won't mention him. He's like a bad child. You're just going to ignore him. Let's move on, Kevin. We saw 12 become 6 in the BOYLE Sports Irish Greyhound Derby. We've talked about it in the past. There's been times of drama. There was brilliant performances. There was real heartache. So it was, there was plenty to talk about, right? Let's get into it. There's plenty to talk about.
Yeah, no, every emotion you summed up there all rolled into one. It's not like a semi-final night that I can remember. You have the elation of the 6 qualifiers going through and then the heartbreak for obviously the ones going out, and then you have to feel for Connections of Oriole in particular doing enough to qualify and then getting thrown out. And I was over the far side and then seeing Willie O'Connor and the proper ARS team and going from disappointment, and I think they were looking up booking ferries home and then they had to cancel. So look, a semi-final night that I can't compare to in recent years, but look, we've got 6 wonderful finalists, and I suppose what's in the past now has to stay there, and now we have to look forward to what I'm sure will be a brilliant final here next week.
Yeah, last year we had a hot favourite, a dog who went off at 130 on, the shortest price Derby winner and Derby favourite of all time. And a year later, we're probably going to have a dog not much bigger. Cheap Sandwiches was sensational in the first semi-final. The signs were there. He's been improving all the way through the competition. Last year, he was rampant in the semi-finals, 29-13. Tonight, I think it was more impressive. Just conditions as well probably weren't quite as quick as they were last year, 29-14. He wins 12 and a half lengths. It's over from 3 strides in. It was simply awesome from Cheap Sandwiches. And he's bidding to give Graham Holland a 5th, I say it again, a 5th Irish Greyhound Derby title. It would be a remarkable achievement, but what a Greyhound Cheap Sandwiches is.
Yeah, look, and we touched on it there for the last couple of weeks that his runs had just been improving. And again, last week 29-27, tonight 29-14. And again, like I said to you a couple of weeks ago, it was weird watching him out of the boxes because I thought he was a mile behind proper airs, but then he came charging into the bend, and you saw that early pace again tonight. Like Our Lady Barefoot saying, song takes a flyer. I know that's where her early is. She's not blessed with it into the corner, but he has just absolutely ran away from them into the bend. And that's where his power is. We spotted it a couple of weeks ago. I made reference to it then. And every week, it just seems to be getting better and better and better. I know Bocco Simon's not here, but like if you took the name off him and said it was Bocco's into the first bend, it wouldn't be surprising because that's what Bocco's did last year. He was from the winning line into the bend, just burning really good, high-quality dogs off. And this year, Cheap Sandwiches is doing exactly that. I know Graham and the team put up videos of him there on social media during the week, and he looked as fresh as paint. The run tonight, I can't imagine will have taken anything out of him. You hope he comes through the week safe and sound, because if he does, he's going to be very, very difficult to beat. And I said, I think in the second round, on one of these, I said the one certainty we have is we definitely won't have a shorter price favourite than last year. And this lad, I hope the sport doesn't come from too much and it makes a mug of me, but he's going to be a short price favourite. He's going to be odds on. He's going to be the one they all have to beat. And as I said last week, it was a heart of stone not to wish him the best in the final, because if a dog in this final deserves it, he does.
Yeah, second last year, of course, English Derby finalist this year. He's just been a remarkable greyhound. He does 16.84 to the third bend. He does a 3:38 section, I think it was. It was just brilliant from start to finish. It was pretty much flawless. In behind, your own Barefoot and Song qualified. You said it to me. You said it to me that the harder the company, the harder she'll run. She's just a little dinger, and she certainly is that. She ran great. Oriole, sadly for Connections, he was disqualified for fighting. That's how they described it. You can understand why it didn't look great in the replay. The photo finish really is the final nail in the coffin. You can sort of see the back of his head.
Okay.
The fact of the matter was they were 12 and a half lengths back, and the hair was well in front of the leader.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid that doesn't come down as an excuse. It just happens. You have to feel for Jack Kennelly and for his owners, the random bag syndicate. He had been running so well through the Derby. Just one of those things.
Yeah, I'm absolutely devastated for Jack. I'd say I was one of the first people he met coming in off the track, and he was just in a state of shock. He didn't really know what happens now or what the situation was, or he hadn't even seen a replay. And you could just tell that he was in a state of shock. He couldn't even enjoy the moment of,
They were scarcely into the escape by the time the Stewards' inquiry was called.
And look, look, if you go out, it's one thing. It's disappointing, but like the dog had qualified, and then for that to happen, and like you said there, like that's what I said to you there off camera, as well as that. Like, and look, I'm not clutching excuses. I'm not saying it's the wrong decision. I'm just saying like the hair was a mile in front of the dogs, and look, it's, like you said, it's not an excuse, but at the same time, it's devastating for Connections. Like we've been there and been knocked out, and that's disappointing enough. But to qualify, I can't imagine how they feel going home tonight. And look, Jack is one of the best up and coming trainers in the country. What he's done with the dogs he's had, he's a fantastic trainer, and I'm sure he'll come again. And I really, really hope he does. I hope he's back here, and whenever it may be, with a dog of similar ability, and he gets to experience that Derby final, because he deserves it. And it'll take him a while to bounce back from this, but knowing Jack, I'm sure he will.
He's a proven man with a Greyhound.
Yeah,
and he's so young, and he's got a full training career ahead of him. I'm sure he'll have big nights, here at Shelburne Park, of course, in the future. Proper ARS has gone through. He faced a very tricky draw. Didn't get a run around the opening two bends, but he's in a qualifying spot down the back straight. I know Oriole is, running hard to try and get there. And that often is the case with dogs who are going to do what he did. But Proper ARS didn't impress in defeat. He looked tired. Now, a week is a long time in greyhound racing. Give him an inside draw, he's a trap one in the final. He has to be considered. He's a very, very, very talented greyhound. We saw that on more than one occasion in this derby. But they're going to have to... There's a refresher there needed. I'd say they won't be doing an awful lot with him.
Look, look, you can say that about him. Some dogs, when they don't lead, it doesn't really happen for him, and that may be a case for that tonight. I don't know if he's tired or not, but I know he's very dangerous in this final. I know he's in trap one. You have the two ladies, obviously, in 2 and 3, who are two flashy starters. But if, and it is a big if, but if he holds it to the corner, goes up with them, we've seen it here in whatever was the third round that he held Sheep Sandwiches. He needs to repeat that. He needs one of his brilliant breaks, but like he hasn't won as much as he's won to not be still
at least from one. His own fate is in his hands. His own hands. Like, if he does everything right, he has every chance.
Oh, I think it'd be foolish to rule him out. I genuinely think he's a great chance. I think he's probably, look, there's probably not all 5 of them that can beat Sheep Sandwiches at his best, but Proper ARS has shown he can. So I would definitely wouldn't be ruling him out. Look, our own lady, I run out of superlatives for her. I said it to you coming down the stairs. I said it on these. The tougher the race, the better she is. She's just an iron lady, and she flashed out.
Those pups are more valuable than they were, aren't they?
I don't own any of them, but I know, look, she's something special, and we'll enjoy this week. I know she'll be a massive price, but look, she's there with a fighter's chance, and look, I'm sure she'll go into them boxes and try to...
A bad choice of words now at this night.
but she is, and like, she's as game as a gander, and I think she's made the final in nearly every competition we've ever ran her in. She's probably due in season anytime, because she comes into season every 6 months.
Doesn't matter
now. But but look, it's wonderful for Brian and Kathleen. They've won the Scottish Derby with us. They won the English one. I remember Brian a couple of years ago saying to me he'd like to top it off with an Irish one. Now it might take a miracle in the final of this, but just to be there, I'm sure they'll enjoy it. But yeah, look, it was wonderful for Chief Sandwich. Fierce disappointing for Oriole. Delighted for our own lady. And Proper ARS, I know people will write him off now, but
it's a shame he got into the final that way.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's in the final can only be a good thing.
Oh, of course it is.
The interest from the UK is going to be colossal.
It will be. And look, and not even just that. He is, like, of the 12 that were in the semi-finals even, like, if I was to say to you, like, Sheep Sandwiches, who are the biggest challengers to him, without a question, Proper ARS would be one of them.
Yeah, no question. I would suggest, just given the weight of English support, he may well go off second favourite.
Okay.
We'll move on to the second semi-final, and while there was plenty of drama, plenty of excitement about this one, it wasn't quite as the same type of drama, shall we say. Magical Mag, again, set your watch by her. She absolutely launched from trap 3. She set a searing gallop into the back straight. But on this occasion, a certain Glengar Silent had found his trapping boots. And the only concern was, after hitting the lids, you're worried that something would clip him on the inside. Not a dog used to getting around in front of dogs, and you're just hopeful he doesn't do anything silly. He turned second. He showed all his pace down the back straight. He goes in front at the third bend, kicks onto him by a couple of lengths. Droopy's Deploy runs on like a train, as he's done all Derby. Like a dog who, I would have always said was a trappy type of dog early in his career. Yeah. He looks more and more like a future stayer.
Yeah.
But Glengar Silent is very much on an upward curve. Brilliant run here tonight.
Brilliant. He's a superstar. He's some gears. Look, I think the draw probably doesn't suit him. Like, when you say Proper ARS being second favourite, like, I think this dog is probably second favourite on ability.
I think he'll be second favourite on Monday.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be second favourite on the night.
And I think I'm in agreement with you, because I don't think the draw, like, it's hard to see him getting, like, he's got early on his outside with cheap sandwiches, obviously the two bitches on his inside and proper arrest. But, like, make no mistake about it, if there's any sort of trouble, like, this dog is just, from the second bend to the winning line, he's a monster. Like, he really is. He was so impressive in doing the race, and we'd mentioned a couple of times that he was just coming to the BOYLE lovely. I think he'll be a better dog next year. I really do.
Yeah.
I think he just looks like a dog that's only coming and coming and coming. And who knows, like, if he can trap like he did tonight and put himself in a position, I'm not ruling him out by any means. I just think navigating himself in the first third of this race is going to be the key to his chances next week, because he has the ability to test cheap sandwiches, proper airs, any of them, doing everything right. He's equally as fast as them. It's just going to be tricky for him to put himself in that position. Truth is the play, I think, was on this last week, or definitely I said with a couple of people, he was the one dog I thought was bomb-proof, guaranteed to be in the final. Just the way he's running, just the race wasn't blessed with early. I knew Magical Man would lead up and maybe something else, but I just thought Truth was the play, there would be a bit of trouble and he'd get round exactly as it did. But he is absolutely flying home, and especially what happened, Robert, early in the rounds with plenty of the hot pots that he had. It's great to see him in the final with one. And this lad is really rejuvenated the last couple of weeks. The first round or two, it was a little bit, I thought he was a bit flat. I thought he was a bit disappointing. The last couple of weeks, he's really starting to come to life and show a bit of promise. And he's absolutely at the top of his game. Magical Mag, what can you say about her? Similar to On Song, like, she's just absolutely flashing out. It's brilliant to see two bitches in the final. I can't remember the last time maybe Susie's. Did we have another bitch in the Susie's?
Yeah, Single Line Sally was second.
Sorry, yeah. So we've had plenty of them, but
and her son is in this derby.
Yeah, but but like, she is just electric. I hope she stays inside now. My 1 in 3, but look, it's brilliant. It's a good sort of spread, with 3 insides, a middle, 2 wides. You'd hope that, and you've got to play in silent the stronger runners, and you've got a bit of early. You have any amount of storylines. Cheap sandwiches, how unlucky you've been to run into Bocco's Diamond, Proper S, obviously, the two bitches, the pup and Glengar Silent, and Troopy's the play, the strong runner. So you've got anything you'd want in this derby. We'll have a short price favourite, but it's going to take some winning. But again, this was very, very impressive semi-final. And like, when you saw Cheap Sandwiches do 29-14, winning by 12.5 lengths, you almost thought going into the second semi-final, just is the final over before it even. But like, Glengar Silent, he's less than 2 lengths off him, like, and Cheap Sandwich has done everything right. So the pup is coming.
Yeah, and when you consider that Cheap Sandwich is just 16.84, and Glengar Silent is doing what? 17.08, I think it is. Like, it's
like
he is.
What's he doing coming?
He is hammering. Like, really is hammering home. That's it. We have a final to look forward to. We can talk about the draw briefly. I actually don't have it to hand. I have to remember it. Proper Harris is 1 anyway. I know that.
Magical Mag is in 2.
The bitches, your bitches in 3. And then Glengar Silent, 4. Cheap Sandwiches, and Droopy's Deploy.
That's it. Yeah. Look, it's a great race. From a personal point of view, I probably would have preferred my one in on the rails. But look, I think everyone is probably, the hotter pots, probably all fans can make a case for themselves. Proper Harris, I think, to win it, probably needed to be in there. He probably needs to take a flyer inside and try and hold Cheap Sandwiches at the corner. If he can do that, he's a major player. Magical Mag will be hoping to clear him, out trap my one, and try and get to the corner in front of Cheap Sandwiches. To be a tall ass, but that's probably where the key to her race is. Our Lady, take a flyer and just pray and see what happens, but she's there. And then you come to Glengar Silent. If he can navigate the first third of that race, put himself in a position off the back straight, like you said, he's doing 17.08. He's what, 3-4 lengths off, coming home quicker from the third bend. So if he can be within touching distance of Cheap Sandwiches into the third bend, who knows? Cheap Sandwiches repeat what he done tonight. I think he'll win it. And then Droopy's Deploy, he'd be staying out wide and hoping for a bit of scrummaging on the inside. So that's probably where the chances lie for everyone. But look, if the derbies, I know last year Bocco's made it look routine, but generally they're not. And who knows what will happen here next week. I'll be looking forward to it anyway. Yeah, 4, 5 and 6, I don't think the connections would have changed them. I'd say that's the boxes they would have chosen. Obviously, Glengar Silence, middle seed. Yeah. So that's where he wants to be. Cheap Sandwiches in 5. That's not a hassle for him at all in any way, shape or form. And Droopy's Supply, I suppose, if you're going to be winning at a big price like that, probably on the outside, trying to avoid any bit of traffic at the inner, because there are trappy types in the inside, as you keep saying. I'm watching him at the first bend. That's where he wants to be. I think, I think if he was in 5, I think he'd be trying to get out. Because watching him at the first bend, he knows there's trouble happening on the inside most nights, and he's staying out wide, staying out of trouble. So I think that's where he wants to be.
He can definitely make the frame.
Well, I think he'll be in the first 3. I just think that's the way his running style suits. Like, and especially, Magical Mag, Barefoot on Song, Proper Arrest, like the three of them can't go around in front. So
Yeah.
whichever one of them leads has a chance, or well, if Cheap Sandwiches leads the three of them, well then Drubby Supply could
You
pick up them
suspect
all.
one of the ladies is going to go bingo and edge inwards, so it could get tight up there, you know.
Oh no, it will, and like, look, it's going to be a great final. It's going to be very hard to see Cheap Sandwiches getting beaten. I think it's coming a little bit too soon for the pup in four. I think he's probably the. I know what you're saying. I think you're right. I think Proper Arrest will go off second favourite, but I think Glengar Silent is probably the biggest threat to Cheap Sandwiches. I just don't know how he puts himself in that position after second bend.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. There you have it. We've a dog, I think Damien said he's going up about 8 to 15, 4 to 7. That basically sums it up. Cheap Sandwich is going to be a hot favourite for the BOYLE Sports Irish Greyhound Derby. We'll be here next Saturday night. And don't worry about having a hot favourite. There was a 130 on favourite here last year, and the atmosphere was electric when he hit the front. And people will come and support Cheap Sandwiches because he is one of the most popular greyhounds in Ireland and the UK, because they are more than used to witnessing him too. But we have a great final to look forward to. If you can get to Shelburne Park next Saturday night, it's a no-brainer. We'll see you there.